It's Sunday, July 3rd. My name's Juan Brown. You're watching the Blanco Lirio channel. And yesterday we lost a well-known and well-loved air show performer, Chris Darnell, age 40, son of Neil Darnell, the driver of the Shockwave jet truck at the Battle Creek, Michigan Field of Flight Air Show and Balloon Festival, Battle Creek, Michigan.
You can see it. Here comes the Shockwave. He is coming fast. He is coming really fast. He's catching up. Looks like he has caught Bill Stein. He's coming up. Oh, he passed Rob Holly. Did not catch Bill Stein. Oh, boy. Got an incident.
The Shockwave jet trucks have been entertaining air shows and drag races all across the country for many, many years. And this year they have a very busy schedule all across the country. There's an excellent video here on the DeBoss Garage channel where there's an interview with Chris Darnell and Neil Darnell about how these trucks operate. On the Crazy Marty YouTube channel, there's a great video from the inside the cockpit view showing exactly how these trucks operate during one of these demonstrations. The Shockwave truck started out as a 1985 Peterbilt truck, but is now a custom-built 4130 chrome moly fuselage jet truck using three J34-48 engines, which were common to the Navy T-2 Buckeye aircraft. These three engines are mounted in a pyramid shape on the back of the truck. They also have added a custom afterburner design to these jet engines, as these jet engines did not originally have afterburners. The stock J34 jet engine put out about 3,000 pounds of thrust each, which would be a total of, 9,000 pounds of thrust. Now, the operators of this truck claim they're getting as much as 19,000 pounds of static thrust once they ignite their homemade afterburner. The truck itself, according to Neil Darnell, only weighs about 7,000 pounds. And he says that when you bring all three engines up to full power, 100% RPM, the brakes on the truck can still hold the truck, but when you light the afterburner, the brakes can no longer hold the truck. The truck, of course, also uses two parachutes to help slow the vehicle down. The truck uses large diameter disc brakes here, but it also uses, I believe these were stock truck tires that have been shaved down. Now, one of the things on jet aircraft that you got to be concerned about is tire limit speed. For example, the 52-inch Michelin tires on the Boeing 777 you can see have a rating of about 245 miles an hour, located right here. The tires that Shockwave uses, I believe, are shaved down stock truck tires and balanced. And of course, these tires have no torque applied to them. As the owner says, they're just along for the ride. Here you can see the two parachute canisters on the side of the truck that get deployed with each run. So when operating this truck, it's much like a single pilot operation of a three-engine jet aircraft. Here's your three throttles all lined up in a row right here. The driver simply grabs all three throttles and moves them up together simultaneously. This large lever here with the black knob on it and this bar across the front of the throttles is your parachute. That's deploying your main chutes. Anytime you grab this parachute knob, you're going to automatically retard all three jet engines to idle. All three jet engines have to be at idle with the afterburner off before you can deploy the parachutes. The parachutes are nylon and they'll simply burn up. This last knob over here to the driver's left, your right, is the afterburner knob, which actually turns on the fuel to the afterburners. And then this button here on the steering wheel, well, it's turned out of the way. It's located right down here. That's what actually ignites the afterburners. So first he can burn the afterburners at idle or at full power. On a full power run, he's going to have all three engines up to nearly full power, holding the brakes. Then he's going to open up the fuel valve to the afterburners, and then he's going to light the afterburners with the thumb switch on the wheel. Get off the brakes, because the brakes aren't going to stop him, and down the track he goes for for only a matter of seconds. And he can achieve speeds over 300 miles an hour. In fact, he's got the Guinness World's record of 376 miles per hour in this truck. When it's time to stop the run, he simply pulls back on the parachute knob here, which retards all 3 throttles and deploys the parachute simultaneously. But the point being is, while he's making his run down the runway, just like in a jet aircraft with only 1 pilot on board, normally we would split these duties up between 2 pilots, the driver has to keep his right hand on the throttles at all time and is only able to steer with his left hand. So if there's a directional control problem, he is working that directional control problem with his left hand. He needs to keep his right hand free to hit the parachutes. And I do not believe there's a automatic parachute deployment system on this truck. It's simply the only automatic part that I can see is this bar here that cages back all 3 throttles simultaneously. He's also got this larger red bar here, which is like the throttles on a B-17, where it would simply pull all 3 throttles back simultaneously without deploying the parachute. So before the show starts, he likes to jockey the afterburner in and out, turning it on and off, creating a huge ball of smoke and fire for the audience. Here he's pushed the throttles up and is giving you intermittent blasts of the afterburner. And this makes it for a tremendous show at nighttime. There you can see him grab the red bar and just pull all 3 throttles back, obviously without deploying the parachutes. I believe this is owner Neil Darnell driving in this video. This show is carefully choreographed with the aircraft to create a drag race where he often races 1 or more aircraft down the runway. Here Neil throttles up all 3 jet engines, checks the RPM and temperature, opens the afterburner valve, hits the afterburner switch, lets off the brakes, and within seconds is accelerating down the track. Right hand on the throttle, and then deploys the parachute to cut the throttles and begin to slow the truck down. Just a matter of seconds, and the whole ride is over. Now, as part of the show, there's a pyrotechnics display well off to the left of the runway, or the left of the truck running down the runway. And to be clear, it appears that this pyrotechnics had nothing to do with the accident, as this accident sequence began well before the truck even got close to the pyrotechnics. At this point, the truck is accelerating down the runway, catching up quickly to the aircraft doing the inverted pass. Right at this point here, we begin to see the deployment of the drogue chute before the engines have been cut off. Which would indicate to me that this parachute is deploying an uncommanded deployment of the parachute, because in order for Chris to deploy the parachutes, the engines would be cut off using their parachute system, as described earlier. Now there appears to be something going on with perhaps the left rear tires of the truck. Here's a chunk of something up in the air here. Again, the engines still appear to be running on the truck. There appears to be a problem with the left rear tires, and the parachutes are just going to get melted away. The truck shoots past the pyrotechnic display and quickly enters. It stays upright for quite a bit of time, and it's spun hard over to the left. And now we can see these large chunks of tire separating from the truck as a result of the slide, and it stays upright. The truck stays upright for quite a bit of time. Again, these are shredded tires here now. And then eventually the truck begins tumbling, and it apparently departs the concrete. So the question for investigators are going to be, what caused this initial parachute deployment? Was it a tire failure that initiated the sequence of events, or was there some sort of an engine failure that initiated a sequence of events that inadvertently deployed the parachutes and or caused a tire failure? They'll be able to figure this out pretty quickly. We just don't know at this time. Thanks so much for your support of this channel, especially the folks over on Patreon that make this content possible. See you here. Condolences to the entire Darnell family and everybody on the air show circuit that knows this family very, very well. See you here.